the existential enemy of mankind, segregates humanity into two warring camps, the Leviathan and the Behemoth of the Book of Job. In the early 20th century, the Behemoth came to be represented by the Eurasianist Bolsheviks, led by Leon Trotsky, who committed the genocides of the Red Terror, which claimed 30 million Gentile lives by 1923. The Leviathan is now the so-called Atlanticist power of the Anglo-Saxon alliance of Great Britain and America, which has cruelly slain millions of Muslims. All this mayhem was instigated by the same ruling force. When the Bolsheviks came to power and committed genocide against the Gentiles, their actions unmistakably mirrored the shocking words of the protocols that had been published more than a decade earlier. It became obvious that there was a greater power behind the throne of the behemoth of the Bolsheviks than communism, and it was setting about to destroy the Leviathan of the British Empire and America and replace them with a new global empire ruled from Jerusalem in fulfillment of their tribe's ancient plans set forth in the Old Testament. In 1920, John Clayton revealed the scheme he witnessed unfolding before his very eyes, which continues to this day and which is more an ancient tribal than a modern communist conspiracy. The Russian communists, led by the likes of Trotsky and Putin and the bankers and oligarchs behind them, generate Muslim, Indian, Chinese, Japanese, and other revolts against the Leviathan of America and Great Britain in the hopes of destroying those Atlanticist empires and stealing their trade routes for the behemoth of the Marxist-Leninist Eurasian behemoth. This plan, which Clayton exposed in 1920, is exactly what is happening today, where Putin and BRICS are rallying the Muslims, Chinese, Indians, Africans, and Latin Americans against America and the United Kingdom and taking over the oil trade and the trade routes from east to west and funneling them through Israel. The Eurasianists today pretend that they are out to destroy European colonialism and create a multipolar world. Instead, their real goal is to take the place of the European West as the communist colonizers of the Middle East, Asia, Africa, and Latin America, all for the benefit of the tribe of Judah in Israel. They want to eventually take over the entire earth and rule it from Jerusalem as the unipolar tyrants of all humanity, whom they will then exterminate. Putin and Trotsky have the same plan, and it was written down 2,500 years ago and handed to them by the same people. John Clayton sounded the alarm that this attack on the Gentiles is a racial, not a political war on humanity on June 19, 1920, in the first column of the front page of the Chicago Daily Tribune, and note that he anticipated the wars involving England, France, Germany, Poland, Russia, Japan, America, India, Afghanistan, and Persia. Clayton wrote, Trotsky leads radical crew to world rule Bolshevism, only a tool for his scheme, by John Clayton, Chicago Tribune Foreign News Service, by special cable. Copyright 1920 by the Tribune Company, Paris, June 18th. For the last 2 years, Army intelligence officers, members of the various secret service organizations of the Entente, have been bringing in reports of a world revolutionary movement other than Bolshevism. At first, these reports confused the two, but latterly the lines they have taken have begun to be more and more clear. Bolshevism aims for the overthrow of existing society and the establishment of an international brotherhood of men who work with their hands as rulers of the world. The second movement aims for the establishment of a new racial domination of the world. So far as the British, French, and our own department's inquiry have been able to trace, the moving spirits in the second scheme are Jewish radicals. Use local hatreds. Within the ranks of communism is a group of this party, but it does not stop there. To its leaders, communism is only an incident. They are ready to use the Islamic revolt, hatred by the Central Empires for England, Japan's designs on India, and commercial rivalry between America and Japan. As any movement of world revolution must be, this is primarily anti-Anglo-Saxon. It sees its greatest task in the destruction of the British Empire and the growing commercial power of America. The brains of this organization are in Berlin. Trotsky at head. The directing spirit which issues the orders to all minor chiefs and finds money for the work of preparing the revolt is in the German capital. Its executive head is none other than Trotsky, for it is on the far frontiers of India, Afghanistan, and Persia that the first test of strength will come. The organization expert of the present Russian state is recognized, even among the members of his own political party, as a man of boundless ambition, and his dream of an empire of the East is like that of Napoleon. The organization of the world Jewish radical movement has been perfected in almost every land. In the states of England, France, Germany, Poland, Russia, and the East, it has its groups. It is behind the Islamic revolt with all the propaganda skill and financial aid at its command because it hopes to control the shaping of the new Eastern Empire to its own ends. Sympathy with the Eastern nationals probably is one of the chief causes for the victory of the pro-nationals in the Bolshevik Party, which threw communism solidly behind the nationalist aspirations of England's colonies. Out to grab trade routes. The aims of the Jewish Radical Party have nothing of altruism behind them beyond liberation of their own race. Except for this, their aims are purely commercial. They want actual control of the rich trade routes and production centers of the East, those foundations of the British Empire which always have been the cornerstone of its national supremacy. They are striking for the same ends as Germany when she entered the War of 1914 to establish Mittel Europa and so give the Germans control of the Baghdad Railway. They believe Europe is tired of conflict and that England is too weak to put down a concerted rebellion in part of her eastern possessions. Therein lies the hope of success. They are staking brains and money against an empire. Westward, the course of empire makes its way, but even it swings backward to the old battleground where for countless ages peoples have fought. Nations have risen and crumbled around control of Eastern commerce.